Hey everybody, so I'm here at a house up here in Carbonado, Washington, and we're going to be painting this house, and I just wanted to kind of show you some of the things that we're doing here. If you take a step back, you can kind of see kind of how big this house is. The customer installed or put in a bunch of new trim over the garage doors. Some new trim was installed on some of the corner boards and stuff. So what we're going to be doing here is going to be, I already pressure washed this house. You can see that it's kind of out here in a dusty area. So we got this house all pressure washed, and right now what I'm doing is I'm going around with some oil-based primer and hitting all the fresh wood that hasn't been primed yet. So I'll kind of show you as we go here kind of what this looks like. All right. One thing that's really important to prime is these knot holes. You can see how there's like some tannin bleed coming out of them, and you can see the same thing. Like, see, there's this one here too, and down here. All that stuff we're gonna hit with primer, and then any bare wood spots like this are all gonna be hit with primer. All right, I want to show you another spot where a lot of painters miss when they're priming, is right above doors and windows. Now, this is the top edge of the garage door frame, and this area right here gets missed all the time. And this is the most important part of the house to prime, typically, because this protects the top edge of windows and doors where they're getting hit by rain and the elements. So we're going to definitely hit this too. One little thing too is a lot of painters skip little things, you know, like for example, right here at the bottom of this trim piece, you'll see a lot of guys who come in and they try to use a roller, a little mini roller for everything, and it just doesn't work very good. You know, you got to get a brush out to get all those little tiny spots, you know, and a lot of guys just try to, first of all, a lot of guys don't prime. They just come out and start caulking right away, and you can't do that. And a brush really works really well for things like knot holes. You know, like if you take a look at what we did here, you know, this is what a good priming job should look like. You know, up and down all the corner boards, all the knot holes filled in. You know, you want to hit all the nail heads up and down all these creases, all the corners going across, you know, every little angle is hit with primer. Okay, and I even went in here, got up underneath here, because this is the part that gets hit with the weather the most, you know, and a lot of times I just prime the whole bottom piece all the way around. Also, one thing to really consider, you know, is when you're getting ready, you know, to do stuff like putting some quad caulking in. I like to use this stuff. It's thick. A lot of the benefits are, you know, it stretches to 3 times, you know, 300%. Says it's UV resistant. It's really a good stuff, you know. One thing though to take into consideration though is that when you're putting caulking on the house, a lot of painters will come out and the first thing they do is they start caulking. And that's not necessarily the best way to do it. You know, you want to get in there and actually prime first, because caulking adheres better to a primed surface. If you just come out and start putting caulking after pressure washing, you're gonna get inferior results because the caulking won't stick as well. So if you ever see a painter come out and first thing they do is start putting caulking on the house, you know, either they're taking shortcuts or they don't care, or, you know, or they don't know, maybe. But you definitely want to make sure that you put primer on the house first in all the corners and creases, and then put caulking on there. You know, and as you can see on what we did here, you know, we've got primer on all these seams. You know, it almost looks like we've already primed. And the good thing about priming first is that you can see where your caulking is needed. Like you see there's a gap here that's gonna need some primer, caulking I mean. You know, and there's other little spots. You know, so it's definitely the right way to do it. Make sure you prime first. All right, something else too is anytime there's bare wood on a house, it always needs oil-based primer. You know, and as you can see on this house, this is all trim that was installed recently because the other stuff had wood rot, so it was replaced by the guys who came out and did the roof. All that's gonna need to be primed first. You can't just come out and put latex paint over that. The paint will peel. A lot of paints will say that they're paint and primer in one, but it doesn't work that great. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna brush oil-based primer on all this exposed wood. Now, if you take a look at the wall here, you can see where we primed with the oil base. As you go up this corner board, this all needs caulking. Woo! All right, well, we just spent the whole day putting primer on the house. Definitely worth it, because when the rain comes, this house is going to be well protected against wood rot, against water getting into the house, leaks, etc., etc. And the paint itself will last, you know, because a lot of painters will skip the priming part of it, you know, and they'll just run in here and start caulking, and then next thing you know, they're masking off the windows and spraying, and there's wood that never got primed. Well, when you do it that way, it might be quick, but a year from now or 2 years from now, if you're lucky, paint will start flaking off the house. So you gotta sand, you gotta scrape, you gotta get the oil-based primer in there with a brush, and then you can top coat with latex, and that's how you get a good paint job. I just like, we just like to go around and show you kind of how we do things, and that's definitely how you're going to get a good paint job. So thanks for watching, and take care. Bye.